One of the beauties of soapware is the ability to be able to create customized layouts of what you'd like your charts to look like. When I create a new chart, I click on the chart rack. I click on this button, Create Chart, this icon. It asks for a first name and last name. I type in the first name and last name, and then I say OK. And then soapware works to create the chart how I'd like it to look. This is a brand new chart with no information in it. It is set up ready for information to be loaded. So people ask, how do I get it so when I create a new chart it has the information I would like to be in it? How did it know to put these pick lists in these places? You have the exact same options when you're creating soap notes. So when I click on the soap note section here, and I would create a new soap note by naming the plus button, or plus icon. Select the encounter type, face to face. Add. My beginning soap note looks like this. In both instances, on the summary side when I created a new chart, and on the soap note side when I created a new soap note, soapware knows to use the default settings I have created to fill the summary side or to fill the soap note side. In the next video, we'll look at how you create these default documents. So where does soapware know? How does it know what documents to put in, the summary side or the soap note side? This is set using the Tools section. So I'm at the menu, I'm on the Tools menu. In the sub-menu, I look for Chart Section Editor, and then I select that part of the chart that I want to edit, the default docuplate that goes in there. So let's look at the summary side. I click on Summary. I click on Edit Section Defaults. And this is the default docuplate and name that when creating a document in this section, soapware puts in. The beauty is each person in the office can have their own defaults. This is how I like to have the summary section look. Someone else, when they create a chart, might like to have it a different way. And the same way with the soap notes. So let's look at how I create, what document I use. I use a document called Summary Peds, Ali Old. It's the docuplate, and the docutainer name is Summary. So now that I know that's where soapware is looking, let's close this chart section. Let's look at a soap note and encounter. Same thing, I want to edit. What is the default that I use? I use a docuplate called Soap. Now that I know what document soapware is using, all I have to do is edit those documents if I want to change these documents that get put in by default. If I don't like any of the ones that are in the system, I can make my own. Most people will probably want to make their own. So let's do one from scratch. Let me close this. So how do I find these docuplates that are within the soapware system? There are several different ways to get to anything in soapware. You can always use the menus at the top. If we went to Docutainers, clicked on that menu, and in the sub-menu there was Docuplates, I can click on that. That will take me to the library of docuplates. This is the library side, what's available to me. This is the editing side. Again, when I'm in a menu section, and I see what I would like to get to, docuplates, it shows me this is what the icon looks like if I'm trying to get to docuplates. Or here's a shortcut key. If I hit that key or that combination of keys, I'll get to the section I'd like to. So let's try that. Let's just hit F6. And that pulls up the docuplate library and the docuplate editor. You can also set your toolbars to have the icons that you would like. So I can create a new docuplate. I can manage the docuplates that I have. This is Manage Docuplates. I can look in that docuplate library and search for it for anything that I would like to use in the soapware section. So now that I know how to get to my docuplate library, once I'm there, I can search for the available docuplates. Type in a keyword, and in this point we're looking for the summary defaults. I click the search icon, and all the available docuplates that will go in the summary section, or use the word summary in the shortcut or in the description or in the keyword, will appear. I simply click on the one that I would like, and then it appears in the editor section. If I click on one that has a down-facing green arrow, it'll say this selected docuplate is online. Please download to view it. I click on this download button, and that will download the one I would like. Now that you know that this is how Soapware is going to search for a document, use that when you're considering naming documents, or if you find a document that you really like to use over and over again, put a keyword in there that's going to be unique to you. Unique to you. And that way, when you're searching for the docuplates that you like to use over and over again, you put in your keyword, and that way only the ones that show up with the keyword that you put in there will appear. When I'm in the docuplates library, when I have found the one that I either want to use, or I look and say, well, I like this one, but there's a few things I would like to change, I can edit right in the docuplate editor. And when I close this, it will remember the changes I made and carry those with all new charts created going forward. If you don't like any of the available summaries and you'd like to create your own, let's look at creating a new docuplate. To create a new docuplate, put your mouse in the section which you'd like to create a new docuplate for, and see if it has the information that you'd like. I had emptied everything in the summary section and left it just with the information that I liked. You can add new information. Whatever you would like to have appear every time you create a new chart. Pick lists, either in filling in and interviewing your patient, or some default things you would like in every new chart. Once you have the summary side looking as you would like, go back to the docuplate editor, hit the plus button to create new, put a shortcut information in for that docuplate, a description of it. And keywords, remember, to help you find it. Now that docuplate is here for you to edit. Now that you have your default docuplate created that you'd like to use, go back to Tools, the Chart Section Editor, select the chart section you'd like a default docuplate to go in, click on the Edit section default, select your username, unselect the Use Defaults, and then browse for the default you'd like to replace this with. And we can look at some of the default docuplates, and remember we called it Test Summary. And put that in there. Now every time you are logged in and you create a new chart, that test summary will appear on the defaults as a default.